Disney has a whole host of problems, including the latest being that Elon Musk has teamed up with Gina Carano, and they're going to actually sue Disney because they're saying they are in violation of her employment contract. But take a look at this. This is earnings that came out after the bell. Don, this one's for you, right? We promised we would keep talking about Disney. $1.22 adjusted versus 99 cents expected. This is earnings per share. Revenue of $23.55 billion versus $23.64 billion. So revenue coming in a little bit lighter than expected, but earnings really knocking it out of the park. And most importantly, what investors should probably take heart in is the news that Disney is looking forward to more profitability. All that in the future. All that said, part of bringing Bob Iger back and then bringing in the former CFO over at Pepsi was about trying to get some structure around their costs. They've just been spending money like drunken sailors there. I mean, heck, they're doing the whole new Snow White, and they were spending allegedly some $350 million on that new Snow White. And then they had to pull the production. Remember that? So they're spending and spending and spending. They're like the Fed, right? They're just printing money. But it's catching up with them because shareholders are like, what are you doing? And you look at the stock price and it's cut in half from where it was some few years ago. In 2021, it was trading up around $200. Not the case nowadays. So they decided, okay, we're going to divide our company into 3 different businesses. We've gotten too big. So we're going to be entertainment. We're going to be streaming. And we're also going to be like parks and recreation. And so what's fascinating to me is when you look at, this is the first earnings season where they had this new lineup. You look at what happened in the entertainment section. This is with those linear networks. We're talking ABC, for example, which owns The View. As I told you, they're going to sell it, or ESPN. Those linear networks, they're suffering because revenue fell 7%. Whereas if you look at some of the other things like the experiences division, that's, for the parks and for the cruises, well, they actually saw a 7% bump in revenues. So I think that much of the company might be doing fine, but a lot of the company isn't doing fine. And that particular part of the company that's not doing fine is the woke part of the company. Just saying. Right? There's an expression that we all know. There's an expression, go woke, go broke. And that's what we're seeing evidence of here at Disney. Because they can't get out of their own way when it comes to entertainment. They keep making entertainment that nobody wants to see. At some point, that bad entertainment is going to catch up with parks and recreation and everything else. So it was an okay quarter. Whether or not it's going to continue being an okay quarter, that's anyone's guess. Moving on to why that is. Well, you know what? If you can't give up on your wokeism, you're going to have problems, ladies and gentlemen. You just are not going to be able to get your way forward. And that's exactly what's happened. You get the new, Pirates of the Caribbean. No more Johnny Depp. Instead, they've got this. Do we have a picture of her, Drew? This actress? Oh, there we go. Okay. Elon Musk went in saying Disney sucks. So apparently they're considering this woman, Ayo Edebiri, forgive my pronunciation, I'm sure that's not right, as the replacement for Johnny Depp. And the word or the scuttlebutt on the internet about this particular actress is that she is really woke and very socialist, anti-capitalist, and a whole bunch of other things. And she really has a political agenda that many moviegoers might find a little bit challenging, especially when you consider the audience that likes Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, they're not really going to go for this new actress. So yet again, as we look at an entertainment division that's suffering with revenue coming in light, down 7%, you say, well, aren't they ever going to learn their lesson? Like, aren't they ever going to figure this out? No, they're not. They're not. Because now they're going to do a Pirates of the Caribbean and spend a fortune on it with somebody who is really trying to make a political point as opposed to maybe just the best actor or the best actress. There had been some talk at one point of putting Margot Robbie in there. Now that, you want a woman playing the pirate, like maybe proven box office draw with Barbie. Like maybe that would have been a smart move, but no. They're going to go with somebody who is well known for her sort of wokeism, if you would. But they have to. You see, there's a mandate over in the HR department. Elon Musk tweeting out something that he said one of his sources gave him from Disney. You see this color-coded thing? So they rate you at the Disney company. They rate you based on whether or not you're inclusive enough. You're going to be rated A, B, C, or D. So you see, if you're a manager at Disney, your entire future actually depends on whether or not you are inclusive enough. So on-screen representation, you got to have characters that are representative. So whoever's making this movie for the new Pirates of the Caribbean is more focused on meeting that standard A at the top of this Disney inclusion standards memo than they are about box office receipts. And therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem in a major way. Look, this was tweeted out by Elon. He said a source gave it to him. And he's got a bit of an axe to grind. Remember, this is Elon. He does not like Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, very much, in part because Bob Iger has pulled all his advertising from X. And, Elon being Elon, he let him have it at a recent conference. He organized by New York Times Dealbook. So he's on stage. He's doing this interview with Andrew Ross Sorkin. It's great. And he knows that Bob Iger's in the audience. And he has some choice words. You know this clip. I love this clip. But we're going to watch it.
Advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f*** yourself.
But
go f*** yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
well, let me ask you then.
So some choice words again for Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney. Elon is suing Disney with Gina Carano. He's basically bankrolling her, saying, hey, here's the money because it's not fair what they did to you. They got rid of her, remember, because she refused to put her pronouns on her social media handles. She talked about it, actually, with Tucker at the time this all went down, and she was fired, and she was like, I don't get it. Like, I didn't even know what this was. Like, I didn't even understand it all, and I was joking around and put beep, bop, boo, and everybody suddenly freaked out. Let's watch her.
I wouldn't hashtag trans rights, and I wouldn't put my pronouns in. Like, they kept on it pressuring, and finally I just said, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Well, there was an actress that did do it, and she was rewarded with the big job as Snow White. That would be Rachel Zegler. Yeah, she's the new Snow White, and that was quite a rude. But she drank the Kool-Aid. She was part of the Kool-Aid. In fact, some people on the internet speculated that some of her tweets saying, "Oh, you got to stand up for this. You got to stand up for this," actually might have, in fact, helped cost Gina her job. Well, Gina is now suing with the help of Elon Musk because you can't do that in California. You can't fire someone just because of their social or political beliefs. But this woman, she got the big gig as Snow White. If that thing ever materializes, right, it's been postponed thanks to $350 million that they've been spending and out-of-sight costs. But here she is talking about why she really doesn't like Snow White and the character she's playing.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
So the love doesn't matter, like the whole love story thing, like forget about it, doesn't matter, irrelevant. It's all about women's empowerment, I guess. And forget about the fact that we're all human beings and it should be human nature to want to seek out a mate, to have that love in your life. There's some Gallup poll out today talking about how Americans aren't really happy. Well, how could you be happy if you don't even aspire to have a relationship or a family or want this or value that? And Hollywood's teaching you over and over again that you shouldn't want it, that you shouldn't value it, that it's silly. And I don't know, maybe you're going to go on to do something great as a woman and help humankind, etc. I don't care. Like at the same time, you probably want to procreate and have a family and have someone in your life that you love and that loves you. I mean, that was the beauty of the story of Snow White. That's the beauty of every romantic comedy there is. It's the beauty of life, ladies and gentlemen. To dismiss that with a laugh and pretend that none of that matters is actually doing every human being, male and female, a disservice, because you're scoffing at sort of the most fundamental and basic thing that makes us who we are and makes us more than who we are. And that is, okay, I'm getting all sappy on you, on this Thursday. That is love. That is love. And we need more love, much more of it, and a whole lot less Disney nonsense convincing us that somehow, some way, it's a bad thing.